Welcome back to the best Dominion cards list. We're in part 24. We're reaching the upper half of the cards costing 5. Rank 50, Archive. Archive is the 6th best Empires card in this list and 7 ranks higher in the unweighted list, so overrated by newer players. Yeah, in decks where you can easily draw your deck, Archive is just no good because it can happen that you draw or reveal 2 cards that you want to play this turn, and then you might have a disadvantage, especially if, for example, if the 2 cards revealed are both of your only plus buy cards, for example. But adding like 1 Archive earlier until you can draw your deck might be a good addition, although just buying the draw card that help you draw the deck might be better. But in all other decks, where you can't draw your deck, Archive is a very good addition because it helps you reaching 8 every turn, and also if there are cards that want 2 cards to collide, like I'm not sure if I have a good example, like a Moneylender with a Copper, or Tournament with Province, or something that, or like a Transmogrify with, if you have a Transmogrify on your mat, to get something in hand that you can Transmogrify, or something like that, where it's very important that you draw the card that you really want to draw. Archive is a very good addition and helps you to a little bit increase your hand size to so this is one of the best options to get you reliably to 8, and therefore a very good addition. So it really depends, of course, when this card is good, and I think it's rightly placed in the middle of this list. Rank 49, Journeyman. Journeyman lost 2 ranks but has around the same average. It is 2 ranks better in the unweighted ranking. So Journeyman is one of the lowest 5 cost cards that draws 3 cards. I'm not sure if this is correct. Journeyman mostly shines if there's estate trashing, but very weak copper trashing. Then trashing the estates early and then naming copper with Journeyman is a very good option, and is very good in drawing the ancient pieces that you want to draw. This also works, of course, for big money, where you can trash your estates and have trouble trashing your coppers. Then Journeyman works as well very good. But of course, if there's very different cards in your deck, then you probably mostly prefer Catacombs, because you can really look at the cards that you would have drawn and then decide if you want to keep them or not. While your Journeyman is often a shot in the dark, and you're really not feeling, at least, the improvement of Journeyman over Smithy. Ranked 48, Storyteller. Storyteller is 4 ranks and over 3 percentage points better, and the first card in the upper half of this list. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. So I'm not sure why Storyteller is voted this low. I had it ranked higher, because to me it's a really nearly or even better sometimes than Stables. It's similar. It discards treasure cards basically. Instead of discarding, it puts them in play and draws. So if you have a lot of treasure cards, Storyteller is just amazing, way better than Stables. It draws you to your deck and can get to your good cards. So if you have a silver or even a gold gainer, Storyteller is just amazing. If you have a thin deck, then Storyteller is a little bit tricky, because especially if the cards that the other action cards give you virtual money, then you might be even losing money if you play Storyteller. So of course it depends on the board, but mostly Storyteller is worth it. It has also really nice synergies, of course, with treasure cards that you want to play early or in the mid of the turn, like a Coin of the Realm or other cards like Horn of Plenty. It could have nice synergies. So this is really nice, of course. But it really depends on the board. But to me, it's similar in its power level than Stables, but it's ranked way lower. I could see it being ranked higher, way higher next year. Rank 47, Bandit Camp. Bandit Camp lost quite a bit, 8 ranks and nearly 6 percentage points. It is still 3 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking. So Bandit Camp is often compared to Bazaar, and this time it's ranked way lower than Bazaar. I'm not sure if I agree with that, because it of course depends on the deck. If you can draw your deck, Bandit Camp is just way better, because it's basically +1 card, +2 action, +3 coins. Maybe if you want to say it like is maybe closer to +2 action, +3 coins, because the one card you draw is the one card you need to draw your spoils. But if you overdraw, this is just really good. And of course, in deck where you don't draw your deck, of course, the spoils just get in the way, and you rather have a vanilla village than a Bandit Camp. So it, of course, depends on what deck you're building. But to me, Bandit Camp just seems way better than City and Bustling Village, which are also 5-cost village variants that haven't appeared yet. Bandit Camp, I think, is way more useful than those cards, but more on those when they appear in the rankings. Not sure if I agree that Bandit Camp is the worst one of those. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Rank 46, Triumph. Triumph is the 5th best Empires card, an unbelievable 14 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking, so terribly underrated by newer players. It has also the 3rd highest deviation in this list. Yeah, I think this is one of the rarer cases where the lower ranked players might have had a little bit of impact on the rankings, because I definitely think this card should be higher. Triumph is just really strong in every engine that has a gainer or some form of multiple buys, because you can gain lots of points while still building. You only have to gain an estate, which is often not a problem, because you usually have a treasure, which is and if there are cards that can gain stuff non-terminally, so like an upgrade, you can upgrade your deck and gain a lot of cards, and then buy Triumph, and next turn you can even upgrade the estate. Or something like a Transmogrify, where you can trash the cards in hand to the same cards, even if you want to, and this counts towards Triumph. Or a Procession or something. There are a lot of cards that can gain you stuff, kind of in a way non-terminally. And then Triumph is just really strong. And that it costs depth is a really big advantage, because you only need a spare buy and can you don't even need money and can get the points this way. So this is really strong in a lot of boards. Of course, it's not really good in big money. This is obvious, but as most boards are ancient boards anyway, Triumph is a really strong option for a lot of decks to keep building, and while building gain a lot of points until the estates are gone, and then then the piles are mostly empty, or you can just buy provinces and still have a good deck. So Triumph is very good and should be way higher. Rank 45, Baker. Baker hardly changed. It's 1 rank and less than 1 percentage points worse. It's 3 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, as I said with Artificer, I am not sure if I agree that Baker is that much higher than Artificer. Baker, as I said on the last part, Baker is just more useful on more boards, because coin tokens are very strong on every board. It is useful in engines, and useful in big money, and useful in slogs. Baker is a very good option for all of those. but when it's strong, it's never really amazing. Artificer can be amazing, Baker can never be. So Baker is a really strong variant. It is for certain stronger than Treasury in market because coin tokens are very powerful. And yeah, I'm not sure if I agree that it is higher than Artificer. Rank 44, Ill-Gotten Gains. Ill-Gotten Gains continues its losing trend. It lost 10 more ranks, and it is still 5 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking. It has only a small lead of 0.02 percentage points over Baker. So yeah, Ill-Gotten Gains is unbelievable that it was once voted on 4th, and now it's 44th. This is a big difference. It was once one of the strongest cursing attacks there was, when cursing was still, every cursing attack was really strong. But it has since changed. There are a lot of good ways to build your deck with even decent amount of trashing. You can overcome the Ill-Gotten Gains rush. Because mostly the problem is if you're the only one going for Ill-Gotten Gains, you have a lot of time because the opponent has to empty Ill-Gotten Gains and duchies. That's 18 cards, and so you have 18 turns to overcome basically the trash the curses and overcome the duchy deficit from your opponent. So if there are alt VP, you often can ignore Ill-Gotten Gains. If there's decent trashing, you can ignore Ill-Gotten Gains. So this makes Ill-Gotten Gains way weaker, but still it's a really strong option if there's weak or no trashing. Ill-Gotten Gains is still a decent way to go. Also, if you can somehow accelerate the gaining with a duplicate or something, then Ill-Gotten Gains, of course, is also better. And yeah, so I can see Ill-Gotten Gains still losing ranks next year. I think it can be voted lower, but I think it's closer to where it should be now. Rank 43, Embassy. Embassy lost nearly as much as Ill-Gotten Gains, 7 ranks and 6 percentage points, and is therefore on its losing trend as well. It is even 2 more ranks worse in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Embassy was also once voted very high, on 13, because it was a very powerful big money enabler. You can, if you're lucky, you can and draw Embassy on the top of your shuffle like every time. You can rush provinces like so fast, and it still is, of course, a very powerful big money enabler. But of course, big money is now way weaker, and engines are powerful, and then Embassy is not that amazing because usually you can trash within an engine, and the filtering is like only useful in the beginning when you're still building. And then Embassy is mostly just +2 cards, and then you will rather have like a Journeyman that was already in the list, or Catacombs, or a Rebel, or whatever card that draws 3 cards and costs 5. It's just a way better option. Also, each other player gains silver is of course can be an attack, of course, but mostly you're getting Embassy early in big money, and then the silver just helps your opponent at that stage still. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind as well. Rank 42, Jester. For the first time ever, Jester went up a few ranks. 5 ranks to be exact. It has a small lead over Embassy of 0.06 percentage points, and is 1 rank better in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Jester is, I think, now better. It's still not amazing. I mean, it's amazing in 4-player games, of course, because you can gain so many cards, and you're pretty much guaranteed to gain something good. But also in 2-player games, it can be really good in thin decks, where you're just guaranteed to hit something good. The problem is though that the pile might be already emptied that you want to that from that card that you hit. That is always a little bit of a bummer. But in the worst case, this is the worst case. But still, a decent option is if you're hitting a copper, then it's a decent chunker. So it always has an advantage, although you're displeased if you're hitting a copper, but it still is an attack that can be quite relevant. So in also Jester is therefore a good option if there's no really good trashing. So if you're hitting one of the few good cards of your opponent, then you're very glad. But even if you don't, trunking your opponent is also a very good attack in those decks where there's no good trashing, and Jester is a very good option for those. But of course there are better attacks coming up still in this list, and that it's really unreliable as a gainer makes it still kind of weaker. And rank 41, Relic. Relic is a big winner, amazing 18 ranks and over 14 percentage points better. It is 7 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking, so newer players didn't quite follow the trend. Relic, I think, is one of those cards that it quite hurts, but you don't quite see the effect that it hurts your opponent. So you only feel how it hurts if you're on the receiving end and not if you're attacking, because it affects the next turn and not the current turn. So this makes it kind of weird in a way. But Relic is really strong if there's because it stacks with other discard attacks, so it can really hurt with those. So if there's a militia kind of attack and a Relic, you really have to get a Relic, because if you can play a militia and a Relic, your opponent starts with a 3-card hand and the next card he draws, he doesn't draw. So effectively like a 2-card hand. This is of course a really powerful attack. But even if there's no discard attack, Relic is a really strong discard attack on its own. Of course not as powerful as other discard attacks, but still very good and might prevent your opponent kicking off if he has like only a 1 village in hand and needs to draw a card. Then he is pretty much done for the turn when you play a Relic. So getting a Relic is a really good option. Like on every board, it's no matter if you go big money, where it really hurts when you have terminal draw big money, or and there silver is a very good option anyway for terminal draw big money. Or if you go engine, it can also prevent your opponent drawing what he wants, and still it's a 1 card he draws less, and not 1 card he discards like with Urchin. This is like a minion attack basically. I'm not sure if the comparison good, but it's still the most similar attack is like a minion attack. So Relic is a good option. I could see it's still higher, but it has very high competition in the higher ranks, so I'm not sure about that. But still deservingly higher than last year. So thanks for watching again. What do you think about the rankings? I think Storyteller, Bandit Camp and Triumph should be all higher. And do you agree with that? And I can see ill-gotten gains to get lower even more next time. The ill-gotten gains rush is less and less relevant nowadays. So yeah, leave some comments as always, and see you soon. Bye.